Your body thanks you. Your mind embraces you. And all your thoughts are trying, winning, and going into balance with self. Open that portal to the next galaxy, the next universe, the next dimension. Along this trip, our captain extraordinaire is Dr. Tiffany Andrews. Allow her to guide you, introduce you, and embrace our guests with great resources from the unknown to the known to what we thought to remove the illusion that you have about yourself, your surroundings, and your forecast of the matrix of which you live. Let's go and embark on this journey through Alchemy Network. Dr. Stephanie D'Angelo, floating and grooving with you alone with her illustrious guest that she has presented on this luxury network of food, alchemy, radio. So without further ado, welcome to Food Alchemy Network and welcome our guest and our illustrious host, Dr. D'Angelo. Blessing.
Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. As you can see, I am in the blue. My blue fairy got me today. So I'm blue to the hair. I'm blue to the shirt. I am blue all the way down. We won't go there, but not today. On another day, maybe. But today, I am in the blue. I'm wearing it proud. So all you guys have just joining me on for the first time on Instagram, welcome for Food Alchemy Network. Welcome to Coffee with Ori. This is a daily Monday happening 6 p.m. post standard time. If you want to call in and be that voice, call 563. Are you ready? 563 999-3007 563 999-3007, and your voice can be heard because we can hear you. We want to hear your questions. It's an interactive show, and today's topic of all times, are y'all ready? Are you down with, as Queen Latifah said, are you down with the UINITY? Unity. So that's what today's topic is. We're going to talk about unity in this chaotic world that we're living in. If you're living in that dimension, because I'm not. My world is balanced. I'm looking good, feeling good, and all that good stuff. Oh, and for all my people on Twitch, hello. I am Dr. D. This is Food Alchemy, and right now you're listening to one of my shows, Coffee with Ori. So I want to welcome you. And all my YouTube followers, thank you. I want to say welcome, welcome. And the Facebook, welcome, welcome. I want to do this, and you got some questions. Like I said, don't be afraid to pick up that phone. I will buzz you in, and I ain't afraid to answer anything. As my friend said, I ain't scared. I ain't scared, not at all. So.
Or not even me.
Okay, so it promised to be an action-filled show. I want to give you as good as I can get and then some. If I don't know an answer, I will find it. So I want to say it is happening. So now I don't need to wear my glasses. So I wanted to just show you just how blue I went for you.
I went blue. You are really blue.
Hey, I'm just feeling it. So
I've been favorite color.
Well, I've been wanting to go blue for a while. I've been talking about it, and then you won't believe it. It was like, this is not the blue I wanted. My baby picked it out. He was like, Mom, this is a blue, and it won't stay for long because he know how I flip things. But it's only 4 minutes, so you never know what you're going to do. You might see the blue another day, or you might see another color. All depends on how I'm feeling. I might be in all white. I might be in all orange. All depends. As I said, color blue is a color of emotions and vibration. So I'm feeling the blue. I'm bringing in that indigo energy. I'm opening that third eye. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? All over the place. Hit you right there, right? I'm just saying. So yeah, I'm a little bit crazy today. I'm just vibing off of my energy, and I decided, like I said last week, if you were there, I am no part of this 3D dimension experience. I'm just saying. I have no time for the 3D BS because I am out there. So if you want to get on that train with me, ride with me. We're going to do this right. So I'm going to introduce Ori after I done did my thing and said what I have to say. So how are you feeling? Where's your coffee? We got to have your coffee with Ori. All right. All right now.
I keep hearing the loud echo.
I don't. I am also recording on what is this thing? BTR.
Okay.
So what I might need to do, or you might need to do, is actually lower your volume a little bit so you're not hearing my speaker so much. That's the only other thing I can think of. So, hello, Miss Arlene. Thank you. She said, good evening, Ori. See, I'm loving this blue hair, too. I'm loving it.
Yeah, I can hear it, but not that much.
Okay. So, it's just an echo thing. We're trying different things. So, let's talk about UINTY, unity. Why unity?
Well, for everyone out there that's gotten to know us a little bit, we actually come up with a subject either the same day or a few days prior, and we talk about it amongst ourselves. And I've never been a person who has ever really looked at debates. But this year, I kind of was intrigued by the debate, and we both know what has happened, and the world knows what has happened. Now, unfortunately, for 4 years, a part of the world, not just this country, a part of the world, decided that they were going to show their ass. Yeah. And decided that Black lives, Hispanic lives, children's lives that were mixed were not worth anything. So now it's time for us to unify and pull their pants up. Now, as I was thinking about all these things in my head, I was reading about Black Wall Street, and I know that a lot of things that I learned in school for history wasn't what Black history was about. They only taught us what they wanted us to believe.
Can I interrupt you 1 minute? Can you lower your thing a little bit? Because someone else is here.
I lowered my speaker, but I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I can hear you. I thought it was this, but...
What about now?
Say something.
What about now?
Okay, I think that's good.
Okay.
For me.
It's actually very low here. So, like I was saying, it's not stuff that we learned when we were growing up. I grew up in New Jersey. I grew up in Newark. So I grew up among Blacks and Hispanic. It was always Black and Hispanic. We stick together. That's the way it's always been for us.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and I usually am not a person who says but I've been analyzing this whole thing with Black Wall Street, and I saw and I understand how popular and how unified Black Wall Street was. My question is, why wasn't it tried again?
Why?
And Another question that I have is, if we have lived in society for so long amongst each other, and I'm not talking about just blacks, Hispanics, I'm talking about Asians, I'm talking about whites, I'm talking about Jews, I'm talking about Muslims. We all have grown up in vicinities of each other. Okay. I remember growing up near Muslims. I remember, we blacks and Hispanics have always existed like rice. We're everywhere around the world. Now, and I'm not trying to be, what do they call that? What's that word that the Jews love to use? I'm not trying to be racist, but the reality is the only tribe that I've ever realized or noticed that has actually kept away and always wanted to stay away has always been the Jews. While everybody else is united, if they move into our neighborhoods, but yet they congregate by themselves only, which is good and it's not good at the same time. But anyway, this is not what I'm talking about. What I mean to talk about is that we all need to unify ourselves. We need to really think about a plan. We need to stop all this bullshit, the left side, the right side, who's Republican, who's Democrat. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that you do your goddamn job. I'm not saying that I agree with this person. I'm not saying that I like this person. But you know what? At the end of the day, we needed a change. And the change has to begin with us. And unity is what we used to have in the 60s and the 70s, even the Black Panthers. People think that the Black Panthers were only associated with blacks. I remember the Black Panthers in New Jersey, and I remember that we used to get walked to school and walk back from school home. We never had a problem. And, it wasn't the greatest time, but you know what? But I don't remember bad things in the 60s or in the 70s. I remember that your neighbor was always kind. You were always kind to your neighbor. You would always help your neighbor. Kids grew up together. It wasn't about color. It was about unity. Your kids would come over, stay over, have sleepovers. Our parents would cook. If one parent wasn't working and a neighbor was working, that parent would watch their kids and vice versa. Now, what has happened to us as a whole, I don't get. Unfortunately, what I've seen as the years have gone on is that they put God in the middle, honestly, as if God really cares about politics, and He doesn't. They started to use the word for their own benefit, even though many people do. But if you're going to do something, or you're going to interpret something, interpret it the right way. Don't interpret it so you can push people away. Okay? Like this whole idea that Jesus was white. Well, I talk to God directly, only God. Now, if Jesus was white, I don't know where you get that from. And if he was Hispanic, like from Spain, I don't know where you get that from, because Jesus was not. Jesus was dark skinned. And he had woolly hair, and the Bible says it. So how can you read a book and determine that Jesus was that way because you decided he was going to be that way? And then therefore you played on words and basically took people from their country and changed their dialect because they weren't perfect unless they spoke the language or they wanted the way they believed. So I don't know if that has to do with it. I don't know if it has to do with young people that have become multi-millionaires. Matters of rapping, and Hispanics the same way. The money thing happens and it's corrupted people. I can definitely say that this generation, the generation that came after me, kind of are privileged, or they feel like they're privileged, and they feel that all they have to do is this or that, which is hardly nothing to change society. It doesn't work that way. And I've been thinking and thinking and thinking about that. It's been tormenting me because I know that, one of the questions that people will ask is like, well, how do we do that? Well, you know what? Imagine yourself not having a TV. Imagine yourself not having a cell phone. Imagine yourself not being able to have everything to
Right.
What would you do? You wouldn't have any other choice but to keep. I remember that we used to travel, and the phone was at home. There was a message. We would get it when we come home. It wasn't so important. But every now and then, all you see is people on their phone, and it seems to be that that cohesively the world, or let's just say the modern world, is connecting more with children. And I call it more of a brainwash than anything else. Einstein even said it, that the more technologically we become, the more ignorant we do become, and the less humanity there will be. And I believe that. I believe that we have lost our humanity in many ways, and I do believe something that I will say, and you can say it, but I will never repeat it again. It was a good thing that we had this man in office for 4 years, because you know what? It showed us what exactly people like him had in store for people like us. See, unless I open my mouth, you really would not know what I am. You know, if I was white, you would be able to tell. But I am Hispanic, and I open my mouth, I'm talking to a lot of people, I have an accent, which is fine. I love being who I am. Now, I've known, Dr. D for a long time. We've been friends. We've been like brother and sister. And we have worked many things cohesively, and everything has always worked out fine. Although many people around us did not appreciate the fact that we were friends, and still to this day don't appreciate it. But that's another story. What I'm saying is, if we have been friends for so many years, and we have never really had a problem with each other, and everything we say, we sit down and we talk and discuss as human beings, and we work it out, and we figure out a way how to help not just ourselves, but the children today, and the older, and help people spiritually. Why can't we all unify? Why can't there be a Black Wall Street? Why can't there be a Hispanic Wall Street? That is what I think that we should be working towards now. Forget about everything else. Look at what just happened. Look at all the things that were just happening. And you know what? To all the brothers and sisters and the Hispanic people that voted for this man, you know what? Whoopee to you. Because at the end of the day, the one thing that I want to point out is it's always the person who calls himself the genius that actually is the idiot. So that speaks volumes of you, because that's what you voted for. And that's what you follow, because you only follow what you hear. Meanwhile, a person contradicts themselves constantly, and then everything becomes fake news. Every single media is fake, because you don't want to accept that the person that you voted for, because again, it speaks volumes of this character. It shows you how you are, because you think that because he's rich, he's going to make you rich. He's not going to make you rich, because he doesn't give a shit about you or anyone else. All he thinks about is himself. Now, people can say to me, "Oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about." Well, guess what? I was a Palladium kid. I was a Studio 54 kid. I was a what do you call that? A tunnel kid.
A latchkey?
And I remember seeing him in clubs as a kid with young girls, with that creep, but yet he would say no. But he forgets that there are so many of us that actually were in the club scene at 13, 14, 15 years old. So I'm not trying to say that he's perfect or imperfect, because I'm not one to judge. I don't really care, to be honest with you, either way. But what I'm trying to point out is, look at what happened. Look at what could have happened. If this man would serve 4 more years, we would have war. not outside this country, in this country. And I guarantee you that we would have had a civil war amongst ourselves again. For what? Against what? And for what? For color? Because this color doesn't match your eye, or it's not a color that you blend well with. I mean, come on, really? All about color? I mean, one of the things that I noticed that made me happy, and I posted it this week on Facebook, was this African gentleman who is an artist. I don't know about the name for it. This gentleman from, I don't know what part of Africa, but I was more involved and in tune with what he makes. He has come up with a way to make prosthetics for people in Africa, people who have lost limbs, fingers, whatever. And he's made them in a way, because he is an artist, where he sculpts everything, and the rubber that he uses, it's like it looks identical to the color and all. And to me, that shows how the hope that they have in Africa, it doesn't die. You understand? We've always said, and black people say it all the time, black don't crack. It can't. It cannot.
Okay.
So I'm asking everyone, blacks, Hispanics, Chinese, Filipinos, Arabs, Muslims, Jews, anybody, and every color and every spectrum. The what do you call it? The gay community, the trans community, the bisexual community. I'm just asking you, it's time for us to come together, because 2020, and we're getting ready to enter another era of 2021. I think it's time for us to really make these churches and these people and these places of worship. We need to make them understand that gay people, we're here. We've been here. We're not going anywhere. There's nothing sinful about same-sex marriage. The Pope even said it because he knows it to be true. Now, the Bible only refers to about homosexuality about 3 times, but technically, in that time frame, men were raping little boys. So that's basically what the Bible refers. They don't see it that way. They only see it the way they want to. Now, I think it's time that we all make a stand. I think it's time, and I believe my way. I believe in this. If your church has the right to voice an opinion on you, whether you're a mega church or not, if they have the right to voice an opinion and think that their political views are stronger than ours, then they should be taxed. They should pay taxes, and people should not be tithing them. People should keep their damn money and pay their own bills, because there are people that through this epidemic, these evangelist churches were saying, don't stop giving. But yet you don't have a plate of food for your child. Keep giving. And this is where the conflict got really crazy between religion and politics. We were taught, the people who were born in the 60s and the 70s, we were taught, don't discuss politics and don't discuss religion. Now, I was born a Christian. I believe in God, but I'm a Yoruba priest. And I'm a meditation teacher, and I study Buddhism. And, I think that every religion has beautiful things the way that if you interpret it the right way. But when you start to mix religion and politics and call yourself a god, then you need to back it up. And the fact that there's so many people out there that actually look at him as a god. Why? Because he allowed you to use the word nigger again, because he allowed you to talk to Hispanics like they were trash. And of course, they think that all Hispanics are Mexican. So at the end of the day, no, you don't have that privilege. You don't have that privilege. He allowed you. America's always been racist, and not just America, even Europe is very racist against color. The one thing, though, that I grew up with the belief in my heart is that
1 minute. Hold on. Hold that thought. Okay. I've been hearing people get an echo, and my definition is high. It's 1080. So you might getting some feedback and echo, and I had to double it down just for you people out there. I got some feedback that it was a lot of feedback coming out. So I tried to play it down to 720. And so it's not feeding back and going back. So bear with me. And I'm hoping it's staying good. Someone came in, came out. And then for Blog Talk, I know it was not live. I apologize. Now we're on. Just wanted to interrupt that for people to know. I got you. I fixed it. Let me know what's going on. Because you're bouncing back and forth. Your voice is going up and down. And I was trying to do. But I'm there. I got you. Finish.
Okay. Now, I know from when I grew up, and my mom was actually married to a white man who always reminded my brother and I every morning how the white race was the most powerful race in the world. And you know what? And it's kind of stigmatized. It put a stigma on me where it made me dislike and never trust. Now, the one thing that this man has done, I mean, it's always been racist, no matter what. People will say, oh, well, I'm not racist. I have black friends. Yeah. But the question is not that you have black friends. Do you invite them over to your house? Do you ever invite them out to dinner? 90%? No, you do not. So at the end of the day, racism has always existed. He just gave people permission to come out their face and to show their ass, and the right to call you a nigger, a Hispanic, a spick, a chink, or whatever it was that they decided to call you. But what they forget the most is that we, or our parents, our grandparents, were the foundation of this country. Our people actually were the ones who helped build. The Asians and the African Americans build the railroads, not just the blacks, the Asians too. They built the railroad.
I got it.
You know, Hispanic people and black people were used as guinea pigs and you know, given gonorrhea, just to see what they can stand or how it can. I you know what? It's like taking a white mouse and using it in the lab, but you're using human people. Okay, most of the stuff that's been tested, people always think it's a conspiracy theory. It's not a conspiracy theory. Most of these diseases that have been created by us and other countries are tested in Africa. They're tested in Africa. And unfortunately, a lot of the African government is so corrupt that they actually allow it. And that's reality, not just in Africa, in Haiti as well, and in Jamaica. You know, there's a lot of countries that are, you know, that have black governments, just like Puerto Rico. I'm not even gonna fake the funk. Puerto Rico has so many crooked politicians. It's not even funny. You know, there's one woman that I actually admire who's a young lawyer who had no problem telling all of these politicians and calling them by name like AOC does and let them know you guys are crooked. That's why. And she didn't say names in the beginning. She just said, these people are crooked. And then these people started to talk, well, you know, this and that. She's like, you know, I wasn't talking about you directly, but since you said and you opened your mouth, I'm going to point it out. Yes, you, and then you, and then you, and then you. So she broke it down. My thing is, you know, Japan has a thing, a low tolerance for political jargon. You know, Japan has this tolerance where if the government people steal from the people or steal from the government, they will chop your head off. You know, and I'm not saying that I think that it is the best way, but I think that anyone who thinks they're above the law, cops, detectives, FBI, CIA, all of them, judges, senators, anybody, Republicans, Democrats, whatever. If you all have high positions and you think that you're above the law, I think that when they screw up, they should be prosecuted to the fullest of the law, just like everyone else is. Do you understand? Just like this, I'm not jumping. It's all cohesive and it all works together. Just like this Native American. It's not enough that this country, that these Europeans came here and killed. There were many more tribes than what we see here. They only tell us that there were maybe like 50 tribes. That's BS. There were many tribes, and they were all there was the biggest genocide. And you know what? At the end of the day, they want to take a Native American now, young Native American, which I don't think they killed him yet, and they want to kill him. They want to sacrifice this Native American kid who committed murder when he was a kid, and they want to execute him. Now, what about all the people that are on death row that have actually been proven that have killed people? Why do you have them on death row? Why all these rich people that are Caucasians, why are they on death row and you don't kill them? Why? Bible says there's an eye. You want to get Christian on me? Well, then eye for an eye. He who lives by the sword dies by the sword. So at the end of the day, if you want to release and you want to change things, you need to start with private companies like jails. You need to start with them. Because the government will definitely pay for someone who's on death row, for one person who's on death row, anywhere from what is it, like $6,000 to $10,000 a month, just to the upkeep of one person on death row. They have a TV, they have their own room, they don't pay food, no room and board, they go out, they have a gym, they do whatever. So at the end of the day, we're paying for criminals to actually stay institutionalized. Where in Europe, okay, what they do with a lot of their prisoners is they take them out and they rehabilitate them. It's what they do. Why can't we do that? Okay, and it's the same thing with pharmaceutical companies.
Let me answer that, because it's a money-making institution.
Exactly.
It's people that got corporations.
Money making for who?
For the politicians, for the lobbyists, for the people that have the money. The jails are a private institution.
Yes.
And the judge are paid. They have an allotment. If they do not keep these jails full at maximum, they get fined, and the company leaves money. So they sue the state for not keeping the jails full.
Okay, like the school system. This woman who was voted into the school system, she didn't have any experience, none whatsoever. She doesn't, and all she wants to do is privatize schools. Come on, there's so many great teachers out there that want to teach in the most horrible places, and they're willing to get up every morning and even buy school supplies because the government stopped helping them. So we need to unify, because I remember as a kid, my mother going to school in the evening and other people's mothers to volunteer. They would clean out the desks. They would help the administration with paperwork or stuffing envelopes. They would help. What happened to that? What happened to you caring enough to know what's going on with your child? You know, unfortunately, what I've learned along the years is so many mothers my age in the 50s, they have become, they were more women than mothers. Some women should never even have children, and they had them. And the reality is the churches, again, complain, gay people should not adopt children, but guess what? It's okay for you to get raped and for you to have the child, because it's a sin to abort it. But yet there's so many children all over the world that need parents. And the only ones that are really doing their jobs to pick them up are the gay people that want to actually adopt them. And it's been proven that they don't turn gay because we're gay. So at the end of the day, we need to stop with this bullshit, because it's bullshit. We need to stop. Okay, we need to stop looking at the Bible like, oh, we're at the end. We're at the end. Well, guess what? We're at the end. But what are you doing to make it better? You're not doing anything to make it better. You're making it worse, because every word you spew out, that's toxic is lifted to the vibration up in the universe. And the universe is starting to close in on us. I've been getting messages from some of my clients saying, why do I feel like I'm going crazy? Why? Because we are becoming sensitive to the universe's cry. And because we are empathetic and sympathetic to other people's feelings and needs, we're starting to feel the sadness of Mother Nature. We're starting to feel this earth's pain. And what you people don't realize out there is that Mother Nature, she's a terrorist. Mother Nature will kill you. She will destroy you. And at the end of the day, there is nothing you can do with it. She is loving, kind, beautiful, but she's also treacherous when you push her the wrong way. In the Bible, when God destroyed the world, according to the Bible, he flooded the world, and he said he would never do it again. But guess what? How is this world going to end? By what? By water.
Okay.
Again.
Okay. Now, I'm going to go all the way back when you said about why there's not a Black Wall Street. The first terrorist attack, and always been, has been of people of color. People don't realize that the government destroyed the Black Wall Street. And that wasn't the first Black Wall Street that we know of. It's been many of.
Yeah.
Many times. And the reason that people get scared is because that's what happened. They get scared when people unite and pull their finances. Then they start saying, you see, they're doing better than we do. Well, now we don't want you to come together. We want you to come and give us your money because you're doing too much better than us. And the reason people don't understand is that they also, working on their Black Wall Street, was able to have more financial freedom. And they were living better than their counterparts that thought they were superior. And that made them uncomfortable because you got to go back. The first motor vehicle was built by a person of color.
And the light bulb.
Right, but hold on. Reason I'm saying that, but they give Ford the credit. Ford was the one to make mass production of the vehicle, and it was not a good vehicle. Ford was not. It was the man. So I'm just gonna bring it around and show you why we are in this situation that we're in. So with that being said, and it's been done over and over again, they have gone where there are come together of people in color and got scared, and they bombed them. All it takes is one false allegation, rape, trauma, whatever. They go and they destroy a whole city. Rosewood, Florida, example. But they talk about Rosewood, but there's many cities they've done that to. And we're like thinking, okay, it doesn't matter. Flint, I'm giving an example. Flint has been with nasty, corrupted water for decades and decades. This has led and caused poison and killing them for years. Nobody said anything. Someone exposed it, and it was like, oops, my bad, my bad. Let me give you another trauma, the Katrina trauma. So we can go down, 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 down. It is BS with a capital B and a capital S, BS, because we choose to help who we are. And how we help, we get Sally Suders from, what was it, All in the Family, what a racist guy of all people, going into Africa, talking about she's helping these people. No, she's destroying them. And they have a book they published in 1930, Decay of the Tooth, explaining how vibrant the people were, how good they were, until the other people came in and introduced them to sugar, their polluted sugar, their polluted version, but they were the missionaries. What I do like.
You talking about the girl from Feed the Children?
Oh yeah, Sally Suders, the one
her,
All in
right?
the Family. Her father was the racist Archie Bunker on
Yeah,
SNL.
feed the children. Well, you know what? She ate all the food because she got big as hell.
Of course she did. And then some. So I just want to say we're always out here trying to save the others, but we're not saving ourselves. But the thing is, Africa didn't need to be saved. They needed to have the people that was there out because there's people in Africa robbing Africa of their means. Like about they don't know what to do. Why? Because they got some person of unmelanated telling them what to do and has been. The Queen of England has been telling them. And then I'm just the parliament. The Shaka Zulu. I mean, I love that movie. It's the bomb.com. That was like, I got my hustle on when I seen it. I was like, woo, woo. It showed who we are destined to be. Like I told you guys, and I'm going to say it again. We are magi's. We don't have to seek outside ourselves. Everything you need is within yourself if you believe, but we don't. We don't understand it's in your DNA, RNA, codes in your body. I'm saying that because everybody talk about DNA. I'm going to ask you again. What about the RNA? Do anybody know about that? What it does, how it helps? I know that's old school. That's stuff I've been talking about for 20, 25 years, but that's okay. We'll get up there one day. But my point I'm trying to make is we've been hit down for so long that we've forgotten how to build up. Back in my Nana's time, when they didn't have rent, they would have a rent party.
Yes.
They would get together
Yes.
and the neighbor do a fish or this or that, and they would help pay for rent. They didn't need the system because
No.
they became self-sufficient. Just like they think the Black Panthers, they were not just about destroying, they were letting you have the right to bear arms, but they were training them because these were military trained. Let me explain it again for these gun-toting people that don't know what the heck they talking about. They were military trained, and they trained women and men, and they came of accord. That's why they had to be destroyed by the president and the CIA. They went in there because they were too well organized, and they were feeding and having a breakfast program where they had children eating breakfast. They were getting health care. That's where the health free clinic came from. Them, not your government that they're like, oh, we give you free cheese, we give you free butter, and whatever they did back in the day. I mean, and the food stamps, like they doing you a service. You need to realize out there, you want to unify, first of all, figure out what you can do for your community. It's like, what can you do in your community and how can it benefit and what it does for you? How are you part of that community and how is it part of you? Because if you're in it, you're part of it. If it's dissension in there, you're part of that dissension by not saying anything. By you just sitting there, it's like, okay, I agree with everything's going on. That is BS. You got to be the change you want to see. But also, don't get yourself in harm's way in front of a gun being stupid. Get together with like-minded people, educated people, well-informed people that know what they're talking about. I see a lot of groups doing the chitting and the chatting and not living up to the hype they're saying. I know this.
But it doesn't, Dr. D, it doesn't, if you really look at it, look at our nanas and look at their nanas, it really wasn't about education because they didn't really have much education. What they had was common decency. What they had was the knowledge of their ancestors to do things, to be able to link up as a chain and never let anything break it. You know what I'm saying? And along the years, and this is something that I pray and I ask the universe every day, and I hope I can reach at least one person today. Blacks, Hispanics, we need to put our guns down and stop killing each other over something stupid. Because what you do will affect your children down the line. and then you would start something that maybe your father started, and then you hate what your father's doing, and then you become just like him, and then you teach your children, your boys, to be the same way, and there's no more men fighting each other, fists, like when I was growing up. It wasn't about guns that somebody call you a punk and you shoot them. For what? What does that prove? It just proves that you really are punk because you needed a gun to kill someone when you could have just fought them. And it's simple.
Okay.
You know
Now I'm
what I'm
gonna give
saying?
you a story.
Now,
The
one of
West
the
Side
things
Story.
about Africa, yeah, you're absolutely right. To this day, there are Africans, but they don't call themselves Africans. They call themselves Afrikaan.
Right.
And the Afrikaans, they believe that because they were born in West Africa, that West Africa belongs to them and Africa belongs to them. They still have that slave mentality that they are slave masters. And not too long ago, maybe a couple of years ago, there was an uprising, and a lot of them went back to Europe for a while, and then they came back, with military, because that's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what it is about that causes people to be so afraid. Do you understand? Because if every African in Africa came down just like the Hutu Tutsis,
Okay.
but the Tutsis were being destroyed because the Tutsis were really educated people, and they were very black, but they were very refined, and they were very catered. They worked in places, whatever, and somehow the government, which is the thing that kills me. Why do we have to attack ourselves? Why do we have to attack the poor? Why? Why do we have to burn places that other Hispanics or blacks build? Why do you have to burn it down? Why?
Because,
find another way.
Well, sometimes that you got to also realize their setups, just like in the FBI, just like Black Panthers, they have people that spies that, okay, like even going back to slavery, I know people going to hate me for this, but you're going to just hate me. The Moors was, you see my color of my skin? Hello. Okay. You might not like it, but they were the ones that turn us in. We turn against our own kind for money or something. But I'm going to say, in some of their defense, they didn't realize the slavery that they were selling their people into, because slavery was different in Africa. That is what I am going to say. You could buy your way out of slavery in that village during the war. They did not realize that you would be less than human and treated like a dog for the rest of your children. So I'm going to give them that they didn't know. Okay, I'm going to give them that.
Well, I know that villages that would take other villages, they would fight, and then they would take the young and the mothers, and they would ingest them into their village. And It took some time, but then they became part of that family, and it kept growing. So I understand exactly what you're saying, but what I'm saying now, at this era right now, what is this slave mentality? I don't understand that these generation, these kids, they have a voice. They have an amazing, strong voice. And although they can be full of shit at times, these kids, when they speak, they know what the hell they're talking about. And they can fight the government. They can fight, because at one point, what we have forgotten, or what we have given up, because we've given up our right to fight the way we used to. Because I remember in the 60s and 70s, you used to talk to your councilman, or you used to talk to somebody else, and everything was taken care of. Nowadays, you can't even go into the White House or even to a senator's door. They won't even see you. But what they forget is, we don't work for them. They work for us. We put them there. So the same way we put them there, we can take them out. But see, people don't realize that. They think, because, well, you know what? He's a Republican, and he's white, and he's always been so good to us, and he keeps our neighborhoods that are wealthy, he keeps them really fine. Yeah, but they also keep the ghetto. Do you understand? So at the end of the day, what do we have? We don't have just our fist. We have our voice. We have the ability to create and to disable, because we are amazing human beings, all colors, all nations. We are all amazing human beings. And if we just realize that and come together, we can create a productive, green, and safe world for not so much for us or for our children, but our children's children and their children to come. We can create all of this. And you know what? When we were talking earlier about the Wall Street thing, blacks have invented so many things, and because they were either slaves or indentured servant, they could never buy a patent because they were of color. So therefore, the people they worked with, they took all the credit, like Edison. They took all the credit for all the things that black people did, when in reality, black people invented so many of the things. This is where I'm going to rewind the tape. When I saw this thing about this gentleman in Africa, it filled my heart with joy and hope, because here's a gentleman who's poor, who's an artist, who's a struggling artist. And he started to see people that have lost their arms that were chopped off, or their feet, or their fingers, to the wars of Caucasian or Europeans, and all things like that, and their villages destroyed. And what he decided to do was he tried something out. And like I said, he makes these prosthetics that look so real. He makes prosthetics where you can actually move, he makes these fingers where you can actually roll them on like rubber. You can roll them on, and once they're on, they look just like your fingers, and you can move them. So my thing is, this guy just created this not too long ago. He started this, so he's starting to get a lot of recognition. But how long is it going to be
before somebody come in and take over and be corrupted?
Before Europeans or even Americans decide to copy his stuff and to make it when they should have already been doing it. So that shows you we are technologically advanced, but how advanced are we? India is very advanced. So is Africa, but people don't realize that. The Afrikaans, they're there, and basically they're just there. To me, they're there. They're not doing anything. They're wasting space, living in these houses, thinking that because they're Africans, because they're African, they were born in Africa, they're Africans. Afrikaans, what the fuck? They're Afrikaans because they decide to. They run in the pecan family, right? So they call themselves Afrikaans because they're part of pecans. What is it? You were born in Africa. You are a white African. That's all you are. You are a white African, and you are just a person just like they are. You live there. You're supposed to contribute to that country, which most of them do not.
No.
And because of the European government, they go to Africa and they buy 30 acres of land, 40 acres of land, and they pay barely nothing. They hire blacks, pay them less than minimum wage, and we are good employers. No, you're not. You're not good employers. The Queen of England is not a good employer. The people, in Europe, when it comes to people of color, when it comes to Muslims, they don't pay well, but yet they think they do. But yet they come to European countries, Hispanic countries, and then they expect to get paid because they are what? Do you understand? So the only thing, and I'm gonna leave you with this, and then you go on. Like I said, my prayers go out to everyone. I don't care if you voted for Idiot Man, and now you realize that you voted for Idiot Man, because at the end of the day, what's going to happen is this. My people, I'm talking about my people, Hispanic people, they're the first ones they're going to stick their hand out. You're going to give a stimulus. They're the first ones they're going to have their hand out. Like if, you talked a lot of shit about this president, and you didn't even know the facts of this new president. You don't know the facts. You only know what this idiot told you. And yet, but you're the ones that are going to be there with your hands, because the Republicans are the first ones that have their hands out. They'll have it out because they'll be like, oh, well, I deserve a check. You deserve a check for what? For being an idiot? I don't think so. Because me, the same way that they called my friend and they wrote him a letter and they told him you only voted for in your life for Obama since you've been in this country, they know who's who. Me, if I had that information, you think I would give any of these Republican people money? I wouldn't give them shit. Not because, just because of the mockery they tried to make. Even the blacks and Hispanic who saw all the Karens, and yet they kept saying, they instigated that. Because that's what black people do. That's what Hispanics do. Honey, you're Hispanic and you're black. You're not white. You're never going to be white. And even though you think that you're with them, your Uncle Tom, okay, and Auntie Maria, and that's what you're going to be, no matter what. So either you're going to get on the bus with the people and work together. And that's the only thing that I ask. Keep religion separate. Think for yourselves. Love everyone as if they were your siblings. And learn to unify shit again. When you see something going wrong, that the government is doing wrong, and you have proof, tell as many people as you can. Educate them so they can see what's going on, so they can see that it's not a conspiracy theory, that this stuff is going on. You know why I say it? Because white people do it all the time. When something happens in their community, I'm not trying to be racist, it's the truth. When something happens in their communities, they stick together and they go to City Hall and they fight it. But we used to do that. We don't do that anymore. We don't. We have allowed City Hall and we have allowed the House to run itself without us getting involved. We just vote. And we think that they're going to do the same thing.
Okay. I'm going to now come back. How we can help is know at the lower level of the government, your city councilman, all of them down there, as we say, the lower part of your city, of your county, your district, your school district. That's the only way you can make a change, is start at the lower end and build your way up. And the more you put the people that you believe and taking the weed in the people that you don't, you can go higher up and change. And other thing is, I believe that we need to change is the way the Constitution is read, because it does not include you, brown people, in the Constitution.
Well,
Read it.
Well, I think it's time to change. I mean, this idiot, he broke so many laws that were in the Constitution, and yet people, oh, we want to make America great again. Great. America was great in the 60s and the 70s. Actually, in the 70s and the 80s, it was good. So I agree with you 100%.
So once we get, that's what I mean about coming together as a community. They got your neighborhood watch. How many people are in their neighborhood watch? How many people know their city councilman? How many people know their mayor? How many people know the judges? On every level, if you know them, make them, let them know that you put them there, you can take them out. Because the senators, once they get in there, they get 2 or 3 terms, they're there for life, they get a life paycheck. Where in the world do you know anywhere do you get a life paycheck? Even in the military, if you do a full term or do term, you don't get a full paycheck. You just get partial. And you got to be retired to get that partial. And that's something else we could talk about, how down and dirty they really go, because we can go there. I'm just saying. We need to think about what we want, how we want it, and how you think. I, myself, personally, and I'm going to put it out there, I don't like that witch we got for vice president. I know personally, I've had a letter of her not doing her damn job here in California. So I'm putting it out there. So if you coming for me, bitch, come for me. I'm just saying. Now, I just had to let that know. I don't like her. And she's not black. I don't care which way you look at it. She's from another country. Okay? Let's keep it real. You want to get politics? I'm going to get down and dirty and ugly. This blue ain't for blue for nothing. I'm letting you know. I don't like her. Y'all voted for her. Oh, because she's educated and she's a black woman. She's for me. Ooh. BS. She ain't for you. She'd be the first one to lynch your ass. So this show is going to be PGR rated. So I'm going to change the rating on this. Okay? So if you got children, move them the heck out the room. Now.
It's the blue hair. It's the blue hair. It's the blue hair. The chemicals in the blue hair.
I'm just saying. I don't like her. And I personally know what she does and what her campaign is not for us. Her campaign is not for us. It's not. As they got it, she got African American. She is nowhere where she's African at all. Her father is from Jamaica. Her mother is from India. And how she's cast, she's as a white woman. Her mother, because she is in that colonial stuff. But we don't know that. We don't get educated. We're just so impressed, just like Obama. Obama, oh yes. Obama. Because he's the color of your skin. How dumb. Do you know what they stand for? Do you know who they really are and what they're about? Oh, I like Michelle Obama, what she stood for, politically correct, well-spoken and all that. But let me know. I know what girlfriend did in Chicago. Do y'all know her record? Do y'all know what she did to the hospitals and the people that was on Medicaid and Medicare and how she hushed them up and got them out of her hospital? I can go down the list of stuff that I know personally. This ain't secondhand. These are people that are my friends that work with them. Okay? I know these things. I'm not going by, what I heard in the stories. Yes, she is very well spoken. She looks nice. She's well mannered. I am proud. Yeah, she represents that. But then she represents some ugliness of us. Hello. Just like Obama recognized some ugliness amongst us. That works. Now, let me tell you, before they get in these places, y'all think that y'all voting. The Democrat is no different than the Republican. You're voting for the same wing. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, now that I put that out there. So, okay, y'all done dropped off. It's okay. I don't care. If I hurt your feelings, woo, woo, woo. Get over yourself.
Well, you know that Lincoln was a Republican. At that time, the Republicans were actually Democrats, and the Democrats were actually Republicans. Yeah. So you're absolutely right. It's one and the same. People think that it's not, but it is, because they have, when you have business Democrats are just like Republicans. And people vote them in because they think that, this is the business Democrat. He has a PhD. He's this, he's that, whatever. We're going to vote him in because he's going to do a lot. He's not going to do a lot. He's going to strip you down is what he's going to do. So you have to learn to read the ballots, because I didn't read the ballots before. Now I do. You need to read the ballots, who's running, and then you got to look up. You got to Google them. You have to Google them, because in Google, you'll find out everything they've done. Mm-hmm. Or Wikipedia will tell you everything about them before you make a decision. Because before, people were really, like you said, Dr. D, they knew each other. You knew these people. I know a lot of, I knew Mayor Gibson. I knew his daughter. I know people that know them, and I know them personally. And at the end of the day, with what I do, my craft, I've read many people in Newark, very, very wealthy people. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really, you listen to the things that they're saying, and they're actually convinced that what their father or brother or cousin that was in office did was the right thing. How can stealing from your own people be the right thing? I don't get that. But you know what? You said it. Like I said, we need to be educated.
We need to start at the bottom up. We need to train our children. We need to give them love, but we still got to start in our community. The PTA meetings, educating. What I believe in educating your own children to understand who they are. My children knew before they went into the public school who they were and how great they were. My son at 9 was telling the woman about Egypt was in Africa. This woman proceeded to tell my son Egypt was not part of Africa.
Yes,
and I said, wait a minute. I said, well, I said, maybe you misunderstood her. So I wrote a note because I was like, he got to be wrong. She wrote me a note. No. So then I wanted to know what kind of teacher he was getting. So me very nicely went to the school and brought a globe so she could see exactly where Egypt was. So I can convince her and show her Egypt is part of Africa. Africa is a continent. It's not a country. It's a continent. Just like the good old USA. Okay? So I'm just saying, get your facts straight. When you come at me with when you come for me and my kids, you better come correct because I'm coming at you. Before I let my kids go out the door, they had to be educated. And the thing is that got me, they were very educated. But one thing that made me think that my child brought to my attention, because of my size and my color, people are intimidated me. I cannot raise my voice. I'm more likely to get killed. That is why how they kept us women and keeping our male children and our other children down because of that fear of losing, lock them up dead, being shot, getting hung, and all of that. The thing is, are you willing to die for what you believe in? And most of us, you might, but a lot of us are not. Are you willing to die for what you believe in? Because like I said, this is just for me, this is just 3D dimension. And I don't believe, I guess I'm gonna point mine out. I don't believe in death now that I've experienced transition of my own, meaning I know about transition. Now that mine is on the other side of the veil and me going, it's just a transition in my statue. Because now I'm not in a 3D form. I just got to be here for a little bit amongst the 3D people. Just a little bit. I'm okay with that. So if I ruffle little feathers, it's okay. Hey, I'm going to keep doing my thing. But since I am here, I'm going to do it to my best of my ability. So I might shake a little feathers. I might shake a little trees. I might make a little people tremble. But it's going to make you know, I left a mark. What do you leave for your people, for your children? My thing is, I've always said, when I go, I leave a legacy. When they talk, my children think about me, they're going to know what I did. It won't be by public. I don't care about public and the government. I said for my kids, I leave a legacy. What did I educate them? What do they know? How do they know? What did they experience? That's what I say to you. What do you leave for your children, your grandchildren that make a mark? What makes you different than anybody else? What makes you stand out? I don't want to be a martyr like Martin Luther King. I don't want to be a martyr like Malcolm X. That's all good.
Well, you know what? God's not looking for martyrs.
Hello.
He's not. He's not looking for anybody to rescue him either. He doesn't need people to defend his name. He can defend himself. You know?
And let's even go one further. Hey, I'm going to say it, put it out here like I said. It's a Blue Monday. All truth will be revealed. You know my belief. You are the Magi is you, and you are a God. So who do you need to check in with? Now, I'm not saying there's not a superior source better and up. There is. But who is the true God? So if you want to go to the Bible said, God made you in his image. He didn't say I made you a demigod, half God, partial God. He said I made you into my image. So that being said, what do that make you? Hello? I think of God. I think maybe I'm mistaken because that's the energy I'm walking with. What you walking with?
I'm not walking with blue hair.
No, you can't do that. I'm too cute. You too cute. Hey, I'm just saying. But today it's been a blue Monday. I know I've shaken the things. I made people think. And I probably even rocked a little feathers and made the people a couple nervous. I'm just saying, I believe in that we can do a lot better. There's a lot for us to do. If you want to do it, be about it, make it happen because you can make anything happen that you want. I believe we can have stations. I believe that we can have our own banks. I mean, look how we have prospered under this. All this racism stuff was done right before our nose. It was just that he made it manifest and you seen it more. It was recorded more. That's the only difference. It was being done, murders and kills and disappearance and missing bodies. All of this was done even before he came to the White House. His reign of terror was started before that. It was started way before what the what is it? I'm trying to think. Franklin Roosevelt and all the stuff being sold out. I can go down. It's a money trail. It's a money game. It's everything that you need to know and educate what your constitution is, what your birth certificate stand for, what your social security card stand for. I mean, how far down the rabbit hole do we gotta go? Y'all ready to rock and roll with me? Because I'm ready to go. Gloves off. It's a new year. Y'all think things is going to change with Biden and y'all savor Harris? Oh yeah. I don't think so.
But you know what? The reality of everything is, like I said, the country's always been racist. He just gave them permission to come out. He let the freaks out so they can be Karens. They can be Karens because trust and believe that once this starts to change now, you best believe you're going to see every time they open their mouth, you're going to see a black woman slap a white woman with no problem. Just for opening up her damn mouth.
I don't know if I'll see that, but they still got the good old boys up in there. They still in the courthouse. I'm just saying.
There's a gay couple that I know in New Jersey, and they live up somewhere like up Wayne, up there somewhere, and they were taking a camera and they took a video, and they put it on Facebook, and I kind of I put like on it, but they were spying on their neighbors. So 3 neighbors came out at the same time to take off the Trump flags. And they looked pathetic. And they were looking around to see if anybody was looking at them. Okay? And they rolled up those flags and they put them away. And then they came out and took out the American flag and put it on the post. So at the end of the day, you know what? If you feel shameful, you should feel shameful. Because you know what? You pushed away your neighbors because of your beliefs. You didn't want to believe anything except what you believed in because it was right for you, because it gave you the right to call somebody a nigger, or it gave you the right to call somebody a spick. But yet you call everybody Mexican, but yet you're always eating Mexican food. You call people black, you call them niggers, but yet you're always eating soul food. You call Puerto Rican spicks, but yet you like our food. So your food is bland. Now, okay. So at the end of the day, darling, let me tell you something. It's been real. Whether people enjoy or not enjoy what was said, it is said. It is what it is. We need to unify. Forget about everything else. Forget about who voted for who and what's going on, and stop depending or expecting the government to always help you.
There you go.
Because the more you have expectations, the more you're going to lose, and the more you're going to be disappointed. Because as long as you are dependent on humans and you have expectations of them, they're always going to let you down.
Ashe. Depend on yourself and make yourself independent. That's what I'm saying. I work for everything that I have now and always will. And that's what I am trying to cultivate. That's the word I'm cultivate in my young individual. Cultivate, because it's, you have to realize that you are the key. I'm not looking. I will give Malcolm X. He said, "You're always looking for a job. Why do you got to look for a job? Why not create one yourself?"
Bingo.
And that's the thing. If you want a business, create the business you're looking for, because there are so many loopholes. This time, with that madman in there, made people come outside their box and think outside the box. And it shaped a lot of things of uncertainty. It things and stuff he did bring to the table and shook up, because they didn't know which way this man was going. He shook up the pedophile that's been going on for centuries. Okay? That was even brought to the table. Some other things of certain people be unnamed were brought to the table for their crimes against other people. I'm waiting to see how that's going to go. That had judgment. Our girl Oprah, I liked her until I noticed a trend with Oprah or Harpo or whatever you want to call it. How come she went after R. Kelly and didn't go after Epstein? You seen her with his arm around it. Why did she go after Michael Jackson and didn't go after that? Or Bill Cosby with Miss King? Why did they go after people of themselves? So my thing is, we're so good to sell our own self out for that dollar. So the thing is your soul and your family worth $1? Do you have a price? And that's what they believe, that all of us have a price that we're willing to sell. And that's not what it is. When we all don't have a price. We have pride. I believe a lot of us have pride, and we can help each other. Now, I like what Oprah did at the school in Africa, but I like what Alicia Keys did better, because you didn't know. I like some of the things Michael Jackson did, but I like what Prince did better. You see, you do things and you don't have to let your name be known what you're doing when you're helping other people get to the top. That is what I believe in. You don't have to be up there where your name is. Certain stars shall be unnamed. Their names got to be up there because that's what they're doing. I'm just saying, you can help people without being that, and making sure that you're in the spotlight as well. If you're going to do something, I believe you do something from the bottom of your heart with sincerity, and you don't have to do it. If you're doing it to get known, then don't do it. If you're doing it from your heart, forget about it and let it, that's it. Do it from your heart, not with expectation. Or don't do it at all. That's how I think we need to be. We can help each other, and we can blossom under each other. But my opinion, your opinion, we can still be friends. We can agree to disagree, but we still can be friends. We still can flourish. You know what I mean? We don't have to be of the same stick, if you will. I'm just saying. But that's food for another thought, because I have a feeling Rockin' Mondays just got better.
Well, look at this.
What?
To everyone I was talking about, the gentleman, this would be, he is the only Native American on federal death row next week, ignoring the Navajo Nation's long legislation or whatever. This gentleman is 38 years old, and he committed two murders. He killed a woman and her 9-year-old granddaughter in the Navajo reservation. Now, despite the crime, the Navajos have their own police. They have their own laws.
Right.
Okay. But yet the United States government is using this gentleman, and they're putting it as This is to execute the only Native American on federal row. Like the only Native American. No, you've already murdered thousands and hundreds of thousands. Why are you still doing this shit? These people are they were supposedly given some land, which actually was never Europeans' land to begin with. It was their land.
Right.
And of course, we can never give anything because they always want everything. Okay, so they want to murder this gentleman. The native guy, his name is Lesmond Mitchell, and he is in, well, where's the Navajo? It's in Arizona.
Right? The Navajo Nation, I think so.
Like the Navajo Nation members of the victim family. Yeah, Navajo Nation. Yeah. Well, I think the corner, Arizona. Yeah, the northeastern corner of Arizona. And again, like I said, his name is Lesmond, Lezmod, and his name is Mitchell. I think that we still have time to write letters because the Navajo Nation should be able to take care of their own problems. It should not, the U.S. government should never, because if you're going to do that for a murder he committed 17 years ago, like I said, take all these whatever that are on death row that actually committed crimes, killed their wives, their children, whatever, and they're serving time. And because they're the right complexion, they're there. And they're serving time, and you are paying for it. You are paying for it. We are paying for these private organizations to do this. It's time for us to just start writing again, because people forgot to write. It's time.
Well, because it's easy to do email. You know what? It said Paul Mooney. You remember Paul Mooney, the comedian?
Yeah.
You got the right complexion for the protection. That's what you said. Oh, I love him. You got the right complexion for the protection. Paul Mooney. That's him. Love him. But politically correct. There's a lot of people y'all need to be listening to when they say stuff. Another guy, that I like, Cat Williams. I really like him. Y'all need to look at the people, how they try to destroy these individuals. Who else? Cat Williams, my boy DMX. I love DMX and what he stood for. And a lot of stuff, y'all understand what that man go through, has been through. Not just the drugs and what was going on and how he had to cope. He's a survivor. And what he's been through, you guys don't even want to know. And he's been in Arizona. And let me tell you, of living in Scottsdale, Arizona, which is known as Scottsdale, even Miss Diana Ross was arrested in Scottsdale, Arizona, and put in a drunk tank by Sheriff Al Powell. He don't care. He had it for DMX. Okay? So I'm just saying, when they know that you can be gotten, they get you. They filmed this young man going to jail. How did they even know that he was being arrested? How did they know that to film him? That camera crews are not supposed to be there. Reason I've been to jail in Arizona. I'm gonna let it be known. For a $25 check, I went to jail. Y'all might not think it's nothing me being in jail for 5 hours. I was in jail. I don't care. I did time. I think 5 hours is enough. I did some time, so I've been in some jail. So my parents don't think it's jail, but $25 check because I moved, okay, to another part, and my car got dug in a hole, and I was coming back from taking my child from dialysis 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay, let me tell you, I called them, they got it out, and the guy ran my license. Didn't know nothing about it. Put the handcuffs in front of my daughter. And let me tell you, it was my own kind that did it. And made the cuffs be tighter than they need to be. And told me that I was going to the big house. Smart ass. Oh, you're going to the big house. But let me tell you, another officer that happened to be white was very friendly and very helpful. When he found out my father was a state officer, a police officer, and tried to help me, even called down there. And let me tell you, those people are nothing nice. Those women, I think, are, they got it in. They did some things that they shouldn't have did. I'm just saying. They shouldn't have put their hand where they put their hand. And I had no bones about action. What the you doing? So yes, I was loud. You're not gonna put your hands where it don't belong. So yes, for that I got punished. And let me say, being arrested in Arizona is nothing fun, even if it's just for 5 hours, and not doing and tell you, oh, you're going home. And they told them the girl wrote a check. It was $10, but by the time they finished putting the process, the check was 25. He said it cost them more to put out a warrant for me to write the check and wanted to know what the heck was I doing there. First time ever being arrested in my life. Do I like Arizona? No. I have a lot of bones to pick with Arizona. You don't want to be there. It's not for me. That state is not for me. It's not been good to me. For me, for good reasons. I mean, met some nice people, met some messed up in the head people too.
Are we
And
going to a commercial?
should I go to a commercial?
You should.
I'm just saying. So I know people want to say something. I knew somebody want to say something. So I'm going to play a commercial real quick. I can do that.
This is the people over there. They're made with sugar and spice and everything nice. No. They're made with all things natural. From cacao to agave to herbs you never heard of different lands that help the body and bring the body in balance with itself. Have you ever had that experience? If you would like an orgasmic experience, try the truffle organic that are vegan and kosher friendly, created by Dr. D. Run out and get it today. Dr. D. AKA, that's what this will be able to try them. Those are days and others. And triple company express.
Okay, for you guys that don't know that, the music playing in the background is by Damien Escobar, and that was a commercial for my truffles. Now, we had some comments while we're at the break, so I wanted to bring them up. That was said that a couple of things. We need to speak on what we need, we being the people. Spiritual wickedness is in a high place, which is true. Yeah, in Arizona for sure. They agree with that. George Washington and Thomas Edison. I guess you're talking about the masses of people that have done wrong in the wrong place at the wrong things and things they've done and stole from us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they were mass murderers too, and they were. But we don't look at it like that. They make them to be the great all be all and all that. But know your history, and I mean know your history, not their history.
Well, look at what's happened in these 4 years. How many busts and how many statues were removed?
A lot.
And how many are going to continue to be removed? A lot more.
Let's hope so. Because I'm not. I'm just saying what I'm picking up with these people. Oh, jeez.
Well, you know what all I say is to people out there is that I hope to God that these people that are racist, they really think twice about what they're going to do, because there are a lot of black militia and a lot of Hispanic militias combined together, and they're going to whoop your ass. They ain't going to play because they were trained by the military. They were not trained in the backyard of your mother's trailer park. So, I just think that people really need to understand that, before you start to judge a race and start calling them names, because I love when I was hearing Karens online, and they were like, oh, well, go back to your country. All you come here is to, you're on welfare, you're food stamps. Well, guess what? Half of the white population is on food stamps, okay, and on welfare. So before you start to judge and point finger who's on what, you better calculate in these poor hick towns how many of them are on assistance. And then you act like you never worked a day in your life, or neither did your mama, and neither did your grandma. And then you act like you are deserving of it. Because what? You're deserving
let
of
me
what?
explain something else.
Okay.
Well, let me explain even the destruction, how that went, which we don't know, of people of color. There's a different welfare system for us than it is for them, because they could have farms and their husband can be at home and they could get welfare and they can milk cows and all that stuff. So not only are they Johnny Betty got the farm, John and Betty got the farm and they got a welfare check. But in order for a person of color, there could not be no man.
Mm-hmm. You couldn't own any property.
No property, no stocks, no nothing. These are the questions you have to ask and answer in order, I think. Okay. It wasn't until when I watched that movie, Miss Claudine, you remember that movie with what's that man? Earl Jones. He came into the home. My brother know what movie I'm talking about.
No. I know the movie you're talking about.
Was that
Claudine? It's been a long time.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that was true until somebody's like, yes, see, that's true. They used to do that. They used to have a social worker come out to the home, make sure they have a new iron. James Earl Jones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Make sure they have nothing new, nothing this, that. They check very thoroughly. They invaded their privacy, but they didn't have to go through, like I said, welfare was different for them than it was for people of color. I didn't understand that. I just knew it was bad, just didn't know how bad it was. So, but they made them, you see, I was privileged to go to a predominantly all-white school, grew up in that area. Shawmont was an agricultural school where people had properties on farms. They took husbandry, learned about the farm and stuff like that. And I thought everybody had schools like that. I thought everybody had woodshop, home economics, business, what is it? Business academy, business management, learned about stocks and stuff like that. I learned that when I was in the 8th grade. I didn't know that is what the echelon did, that they trained them, which I figured out, they trained them to be business owners versus employees. And that's what they've trained our children to be, good employees, to work for the company, to work for steel companies. That's what they trained our parents and grandparents, to work for someone else, not to be an entrepreneur, a business owner. That was not something. I remember my dad working for Connolly Containers, and when he did, and his mother working for Mrs. Paul's, the fish people. I can't stand fish sticks to this day, but I like the apple fritters. I'm just saying, frozen processed food in 101. That's why I'm not one of those, okay? But that's my lifestyle. But I didn't realize that is what other people didn't live like that. I thought everybody owned a home, in my way of thinking. Everybody I knew owned a house. And I thought everybody did that, whether you were black or white. I thought everybody lived in a house until I turned maybe 15 and went to my girlfriends and went to the projects for the first time. I think I scared the bejesus out of my mother because I called myself helping and I had a job. That was my first time being in a project and realizing what the heck a project was. I didn't realize. I was like, they wrote on the walls, they did some other stuff. And I was telling my mother to come and get me from Richard Allen Projects in North Philly. She came and they banged on a car And she took off and told me I better get home the best item. She left me there. I had to catch the bus home. And then I got an ass whooping. But that's how out of touch I was and privileged I was. But I didn't realize that it was a privilege. So it's a different thing when you grow up a certain way that you don't understand the other needs of other people. But I've always been that one that always wanted to help. I was always be the one to give you my candy, my shoes, or whatever. And I did that. I mean, I'll give you an example. I had this outfit that I had got the girl stockings and an outfit. And I was giving it to her for Easter because she didn't have an outfit. Do you know that child had to ask me where the hell was her shoes? And I looked and I was like, excuse me. She's like, I can't use this. I was like, well, then I'll take it back. Then the heifer tried to fight me for something that I was giving her. And I said, okay. I'm like, I bought that with my money. Not my mama's money, my money, because I've always been like that. My heart is always going to be like that. That's just how I am. I always want to help. But that let me know other people's mentalities and what they were kind of about, that my mentality was different. And I always knew that I couldn't work for somebody. You see my mouth, how it is now? It was like that in the military. So I got in trouble. So I'm going to let you know. Military guy told me, you know what, drill sergeant, we're going to make it rain. That was his words. You know me being a smart behind what I said? He said, we're going to make it rain. And he said, if y'all don't do this right, we're going to make it rain in here. We're in the inside. And I'm like, I got to see this. I want to see this. He was so tired. He wrote my dad about me. And my dad said, please stop giving that man a hard way to go. I was like, well, he said he wanted to make it rain. I want to test you. That's just in me. Because I want to see a miracle. If you can make it rain on the inside where the lights is, I want to see this. This is going to be incredible. He meant that we were going to sweat, that the windows were going to sweat. It didn't sweat either. I just wanted to see it. So, yeah, I was that. I knew right then and there. That's why when I was a nurse, the doctors are scared of me. I have a presence, and it is not even to be intimidating. You remember when I went to the doctors with you and that big guy was dropping the tubes? I know when I know what I know, and I'm for you and I got your back, I got your back. And that's the energy I go in with. I don't know any other way to be. Is because when I come in there, I'm coming in there is like my guns is like, okay, let's do this. And you better come correct, because if you don't, I'm going to brrr, and you better have a good answer for it. I'm that good friend, but I'm also that good protector. So I know that is what I like to do. I would like to protect my friends. I like to protect my loved ones, and I like to help out. And I want to make sure nobody's being hurt. That is just in my nature and who I am. And I always do that. But I also learned I had to protect myself. So I'm saying out there for you people out there, know who's in your community, what you can, what you want, who to work with, and everything. Even down to the police station, the commission officer, all of that, the police chief, the sheriff. If you know that the deputies, the cars, if you're familiar with that and y'all get together, y'all can be amazing.
Yes.
There are people that are getting together. Just learn. Educate the children. But I know we done ran over. We done ran over big time today. But this was actually pretty good. It was good going. And thank you for all the interactive. I like that. So if anybody have any questions at another time, write them down. Let's speak on how these things took place and how good is the education system today. We're going to do that next Monday. You heard that?
What is it?
Let's speak to how these things took place and how good is the educational system today. You came on late. We talked about that. But
Well, you know what? Look, next week will be, we'll keep that in mind.
right,
I suggest anybody who has questions, not just about what was said today, but something that you want to talk about now that we're starting a new era, a new beginning. And like I said, I'm not saying that this one is going to be better than the other one, but I'm saying we needed a change because it's like on the boxing ring. We were in the corner and we were getting jabbed and jabbed and jabbed and jabbed and jabbed and jabbed and jabbed, and there was no coming out of it. So we needed to come out of it. Now that
right,
we're coming out of it, now we need to unify and have a voice.
and work
So
together.
I would like to know your opinion, and I'm sure Mrs. D, with her blue hair, would also like to have your opinion, and maybe we can discuss this next week. But any topic that you want to touch on that you don't want to talk about, but you want us to talk about it, just bring it on. Because like she said, she ain't afraid, and I surely ain't afraid of nobody.
Mm-mm.
So you want to come for me, come, but you better come strong, okay? Because I come hard. I'll make your mama cry. Just remember that. Because
Yep.
I'm from the hood, just like you guys.
I can't even say that I'm from the hood. You
Well,
know,
you're not from the hood, but you're
I
not.
don't have no
No,
credentials.
you're not. You're not. You're not. Well, listen, guys, and this is the truth. Dr. says, I always said since I first met her the first day that she is a white woman trapped in a black woman's body. Don't know why. The sisters don't always like her, but white women love her. Love her. Hispanic women are crazy about her. And children adore her. Me, I'm just a bitch. People like me. They either like me or they hate me. There's never an in between. Either they like me or they hate me. Either way, I don't care. Don't make me no never mind because they don't pay anything for me. Just like Dr. D said, everything she's done, she worked for. So everything I have, I've worked for. It's never been handed to me.
Ashe.
So at the end of the day, I wish you all light and love because you deserve it. I want you guys to know out there that you are wonderful human beings, that we are not just children of God, but we're also vessels of the universe. We have the power inside of us to become anything we want to, but you have to know it and you have to believe it. And you don't need someone to co-sign it for you. And that's where I leave you today.
So, what I leave you, love, life, longevity, and vitality. Always. So,
And blue hair.
no, my hair might not be blue next week. My hair is only going to be blue for this week. So, I got another color coming up. Watch. You'll see. I'm like the rainbow.
Hey.
I'm like the rainbow.
Hey.
I'm just saying. I got all these things invested in me that I want to actually try. So I'm going to just, like I said, be me to the best ability. And for all my people that actually do, I thought about this, my friend said, that want to study with me, let me know. I will be taking on some new students that's been brought to my attention that I need to get some things right. That is right. And before you come with me, let me tell you about how I work. So there's no questions. I take what I do spiritually very seriously, to heart. So before you come to me, meditate 3 days, pray on it, sleep on it before you come at me and ask me to help you get to the next level. If you do not, and you decide to take it as a joke, you come at me wrong and don't do your assignments, you are done. Don't even bother to even look back because I'm not going back. I go forward, not backwards. Backwards is for horses. They back up. I don't. Just saying. So.
And no refunds.
Oh, no, definitely no refunds. So I'm just saying, I appreciate that. Oh, I want to play my commercial and we going. No. I'm just going to say good night for everybody. Everybody on BTR, thank you all for listening. And all the wonderful comments on my phone and all over the place. I really appreciate that for y'all taking it in. This has been a lovely topic. So let's do this real. Oh, and Wednesday we will be having a cooking show. I got this set up. We're going to be doing the thing. Oh my gosh. And if y'all want to know my recipes and stuff, things I've been doing, I've been telling y'all. If y'all been staying tuned, y'all know what I've been doing. I've been doing some dehydration. So you'll get to see the stuff I've been dehydrating. And then we're going to make some recipes. And I think
let me ask you a question. Do you know how to make potato chip cookies?
I haven't made them in a long time.
They're like my favorite cookies. And I know you don't need, and I know it's just sugar and butter and potato chips.
Mm-hmm. With a little bit of some people use cacao. Well, I use cacao in the middle for the potato chip cookies. Cacao, dip them in the cacao cookies. They dip them.
Oh, okay.
So if, you know what I mean?
I clean them with just sugar powder. I don't know. That would be nice.
Yeah, well, I'm dehydrating some potatoes, so I'm just saying. I got my little stash. I'm just saying. We will be having shows on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I was late on Friday. Friday night is spiritual connection night. I will be doing some readings. So if you want to care to participate, want a reading, do it. And you'll be able to call in. So we're going to be doing, so I said, I'm up in my shows. Please stay tuned. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, coffee is with Ori is on Monday. Wednesday is going to be cooking, meditation. It can be something. Friday is going to be spiritual connection of some form or fashion. So you never know. And then we're going to be having some other people that want to light up that are going to be on the Food Alchemy Network like before. We're just blowing things up, my man. We're blowing things up. So I say peace, love, and light. Ashe, aho, and all that good stuff. And namaste and mer. It's been real, y'all.
It sure has.
Oh,
enjoy. We will see you soon.
So.
Take care, love.
All right. See ya.
Ciao, Bella.